Hey, we said we got to go take it, and that's what we did for 4 quarters. Give yourselves a round of applause. Hey, JT, all right, first time in Colts season, in a single season, 3 games with 3 touchdowns. Hey, Buck with 2 sacks. Claude with the sack. And Cross with the pick. Hey, and Yum Yum. The big man pick, bro. Daniel Jones balled out. Alan Pierce balled out. Michael Pittman balled out. Tyler Warren balled out. And both the O-line and D-lines balled out. Hey, and Amir with the big return. And Trav shows up and makes tackles. Hey, let me say this, man. I'll tell you what. I love this league. I love it to death. I love this organization. I love these players. I love our owners. Man, and it takes all of us. It's so special. It's so special, right? And don't ever lose this feeling, man. Don't ever lose it, right? Keep fighting every day to be the best. And you already know what time it is. We'll see you on Wednesday!
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3.
That's my coach, baby. That's my fucking coach. Do you remember when people last year were saying Shane Steichen wasn't a leader of men? I'll tell you what, dude. If that video right there does not get you ready to run through a damn brick wall for that guy, I don't know what will. And I'll tell you what. The Indianapolis Colts continue to outdo themselves. They continue to prove that they're even better than we think they are. And I'll be the first to admit, okay, we'll be transparent here. Coming into this game, I really did expect, one, for it to be a close game, which was evidenced by the 1.5 point spread going in, which in football terms is a pick'em game. And then 2, that the Chargers, with all the injuries that we had in the secondary and all the talent that they have on the offensive side of the football, I thought they just might outscore us. And keep in mind, I'm the optimistic Colts guy, right? So when the Colts are even exceeding my expectations, that's when you know we're watching something special. When Grover Stewart walks away with an interception, that's when you know we're watching something special. And when 38 points seems like a routine day of business for this offense, that is when you fucking know that we are watching something special. Do you understand what I'm saying to you right now? And for those of you who had tuned in to the game preview that we did coming into this one, we laid out what I thought the Colts needed to do to come out and win this game. And what we said they had to do was, 1, force the Chargers to abandon the running game early through either the form of shutting it down entirely with that defensive interior or taking a big lead early on that kind of forced the Chargers to just throw the football. 2, I said they needed to stop Quentin Johnson from beating them down the field like he's done to so many teams so often this season. Teams that have their starting corners in, right? And then 3, we thought that if they could do both of those 2 things, you would turn this into a game where it was Justin Herbert versus the Indianapolis Colts, not the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Indianapolis Colts. And then in doing that, you'd be able to put him in a tough position and force him to really be perfect to beat you. But what we really suspected is that he wouldn't be able to do that because no quarterback is going to be perfect when they're forced to be one-dimensional within the offense. And at some point when you're in that situation, even if you're the greatest quarterback in football, you're going to make a mistake when you need to play hero ball throughout the entirety of the game. And that's exactly what happened. So the Colts did all of those things. The only thing I said that they needed to do that they didn't do technically was win the time of possession. But that's in large part because of the back end of that football game. The Colts were absolutely dominating the time of possession early in that game and really in the first half. And they ultimately did that in a way that led to a 23-3 lead going into the half. So they did everything that I said they needed to do to a T. They did exactly what they needed to do to go out there and win that game. All of it. And I hate to shine my own wheels, but Coltstradamus strikes again, okay? That's what they call me, by the way, in case you didn't know, because of how often I'm right about this team. You know, Nostradamus, they call me Coltstradamus. Again, they call me that. I don't call myself that. I would never self-proclaim that I have never been wrong about this team in my entire life, but that's a conversation for a different day. Back to the topic at hand, because there's a whole lot of things that I want to touch on here regarding this game, both offensively and defensively. But before we get into all that, you know what it is. My name is Justin. This right here is the Riding the Bench Colts podcast. As always, ask anyone watching and enjoying the show, go ahead, shoot a like. It's going to help me get out to as many Colts fans as humanly possible. Of course, subscribe if you want to be a part of the journey. We're on our way to 4,000 subscribers over here on the YouTube channel. So if you keep coming back, enjoying the show, perhaps it's your first day here and you're enjoying what it is that you're hearing, hit that subscribe button. Never miss an episode again. I think we're going to hit 4,000 this week. And then at that point, we'll be on the quest to 5,000. Of course, audio listeners, leave a five-star review. Let the people know how much you're enjoying the show. Be like 317 Mitch, who says this podcast is a must listen for any Colts fan. Justin brings the energy, real insight, and honest takes that actually make sense. No shit. They make sense. Thanks, Mitch. I appreciate that. I've been listening since 23-24 season with Gardner Minshew as the starting quarterback. Can't say enough good things about this podcast. Great work, Justin. Go Colts. Mitch, we appreciate you. Be like Mitch. Leave a 5-star review. And if you feel so inclined, leave a wonderful comment along with it, just like that. And then, of course, be civil in the comment section with one another. You don't know what the person on the other end of the keyboard is going through today. But, of course, in a day like this, with a kumbaya, where we're all so happy, I mean, it has not felt as good to be a Colts fan in a very long time. So I don't anticipate there's going to be a whole lot of disagreement. But, yeah, I mean, just be nice to one another. That's all. It's a safe space, a little Hoosier hospitality, as they call it. But with that said, let's get back to what it is that we're talking about. We're going to start on the offensive side of the ball. And really, what can you say about the Colts offense that hasn't already been said? It's a thing of beauty. I mean, bellissimo. I mean, in all facets, the Colts are getting it done. And maybe what was most impressive about this game specifically is the fact that it was without Josh Downs, who really, as I always say, is kind of one-of-one talent on the team in the sense that he's a specialist in the slot and kind of the one piece that brings what he brings and sort of opens things up for everybody else, or at least so we thought, as it turns out. I mean, they could just score 38 with anyone in the game, right? And another thing I'll say every week until I'm blue in the face because I just can't give insight about the offense without bringing this part up. What makes the Colts offense such a problem right now and really coming into the season, this isn't exactly something, I mean, I didn't expect this level of success, but just looking at them, how well-rounded they are, like they could just attack you in any which way. Like it's perfect. If they need to run, they're going to do that. If they need to hit you with the quick passing game, they'll do that. If they need to hit you with the play action passing game, they're going to do that. You need them to throw it down the field, they'll do that too. They might even be able to turn water into wine. I mean, I don't know. At this point, I mean, they're kind of running out of ways to impress me. And when you look at the Colts right now, from a personnel perspective, the players that they have in place, there just are not a whole lot of teams in the NFL that on the defensive side of the football can match up with them across the board. I mean, Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce, Tyler Warren, Jonathan Taylor, Josh Downs when he's out there. And then, of course, in the trenches, and even Shane Steichen himself, who's a fucking weapon in his own right. Then you add the quarterback in there and Daniel Jones, who's distributing the football right now. As good as any quarterback in the entire NFL, I genuinely do not believe that there is a single defense on planet Earth when these guys are all out there that can stop this offense for 4 quarters. It's just too well balanced. It's too efficient. Your only chance at doing it is to stop the running game. But quite frankly, it's just not that likely that you're going to be able to do that when the Colts are playing with this level of confidence and focus on the offensive side of the football. And before this game started, actually, I'm not sure. I'd assume you saw it because it was like right before kickoff. They showed an interview with Jonathan Taylor on the sidelines, and there was something that was almost like it was almost like sociopathic. Like there was like a level of intensity to him. And this guy's just in there interviewing him with a suit. He's like happy to be next to Jonathan Taylor, and Jonathan Taylor looks like he could kill somebody in that moment. Like, did you notice that? And you kind of just had a feeling right then and there that he was just going to have a big day. And boy, did he. Some other notes on the offensive side of the football. Alec Pierce, what a difference maker he is for the Colts offense, for this football team. I mean, he makes every single catch that they ask him to make, whether it's down the field in the intermediate part of the field. He is just as reliable and selfless as a player could get on the offensive side of the football. And full transparency, I don't know if he's going to be on the Colts next year. And it's not because that the Colts aren't going to try to extend him when the time comes. I don't know if he's ever going to view it when it's all said and done at the end of this season as the best move for his long-term career. When you talk about him being the best version of himself, I don't know if he's going to view the Colts as that team long-term. So I'm just enjoying him while he's here. And he deserves all of the flowers from us for as long as we have him here. Next, Amir Abdullah. What an awesome addition he has been to this football team. I mean, that guy is just a professional. He goes out there, he fills out the exact role that I felt this team needed to fill this offseason. I was saying it to anyone that was willing to listen. I said the Colts needed a quality, proven, scat back, change of pace, 2-minute offense type of running back. And now, of course, in all fairness, at the time, I didn't know Jonathan Taylor was going to kind of ascend as he has in terms of being a pass catcher and a pass protector. But a guy like Abdullah to come in, to give Jonathan Taylor a breather, you can trust him. You know he's going to get yards. You know he's going to catch the football. And to even be able to go back there, play special teams, return the football when Ashton Dulin isn't out there, I mean, he's just a good old-fashioned football player. And I'm happy we have him around. So that's the offensive side of the football. Now, the defensive side of the football, that second half, listen, tough, right? But in all fairness, that's not an easy spot to be in as a team, right? When you have a lead like that at that point in the game with a lot of time left, you see it all the time in this league where teams are winning big early and then the other team scratches and claws their way back. Like, it's just a monumentally difficult spot to be in, and it's just hard against an offense that's as talented as the Chargers to hold them back all day long. Again, especially with those injuries in the secondary. It's an excuse I'm going to keep making because they absolutely matter. I mean, number 43, Cameron Mitchell, got a ton of snaps. I don't know what the snap percentages were quite yet, but it felt like he was on the field all day. And no disrespect to him, I had no idea who the heck that guy was. Like, I didn't even know he was on the roster coming into this game. And I make sure that I'm on top of it all, right? And this guy, I had to like literally look him up while I was watching. I'm like, who is this guy? And he was out there and he was playing as good as he could, I suppose. I guess they just picked him up recently. And it just speaks to how much they've had to overcome in the secondary. And then forget the secondary, because now you get injuries to guys like Samson Ebukam and Tyquan Lewis. And I'm not sure exactly how severe those are as of right now. But I mean, good Lord, I know I'm biased because I watch the team and I'm very in tune with them. But is there a team right now in the NFL that is more injury riddled on the defensive side of the football than the Indianapolis Colts? I mean, it's absolutely uncanny. And we ought to do the sign of the cross and thank the football gods that we have Lou Anarumo and not Gus Bradley, because at least he'll try to tailor what he does to the strengths of the players that we have out there, as opposed to Gus Bradley, who would do the opposite and say, hey, guys, I'm just going to keep calling the same shit, and you got to adjust to me, figure it out. Because what the Colts are dealing with on defense right now is not easy for a defensive coordinator at all, and it has nothing to do with Chris Ballard. I've been seeing some people, not often, but I have still been seeing people say that it's like Chris Ballard sat on his hands or something like that. He was incredibly aggressive trying to bolster up this defense this offseason, and he really did it well, right? But when you get all these injuries, I mean, what are you going to do? So to make it like Chris Ballard has not done his part in making this defense better is kind of detached from the reality of what it is that it actually is. Like some people are just going to hate Chris Ballard, and we're going to talk more about that this week because it's about time to have a conversation about that. But nonetheless, we're going to see how it goes now because I've seen multiple reports pegging the Colts as buyers at the deadline, particularly at corner. I don't know exactly what's available. Like, I'm not super familiar with the landscape of the entire league. Maybe that's also something to talk about this week. But with Ward on IR, right? Like, coming into the week, I kind of said, okay, I'm not sure if I would make a big splash, but I also didn't know he was going to be on IR and out for a minimum of 4 weeks. So it does seem like you should do something at the corner position. To what degree, I don't know, right? Because I do anticipate that as the last month of the season approaches, this team in the secondary does kind of come together and get healthy. We saw Kenny Moore out there looking pretty healthy. Jalen Jones is a guy we've heard absolutely nothing about, which quite frankly is a little bit alarming considering that hamstrings are kind of a pesky injury in the sense that they do tend to linger. So I suppose to some degree, how big of a move you make in the secondary does depend on where you think he's at. But you do kind of look and say, all right, there's a week 11 bye. Coming out of that, are you going to be close to healthy? I don't know. But I think if you eventually get Jalen Jones, Kenny Moore, and Charvarius Ward all on there at the same time, I mean, I think it'll be pretty good, but you do think maybe you have to bring someone in. Although I will say, in all fairness, I do think this guy, Mekhi Blackman, that they got from the Vikings early in the season for a 6th-round pick, I really like what he's bringing to the table right now. Even if he allows some catches, he's always right there, and he always makes the tackle. You know, he got called on a pass interference down the field in this one on Quentin Johnson that I thought was just spectacular coverage. And I was looking, and I'm like, man, that's a pass interference too. It's just so hard to cover down the field in this league, particularly against a guy like Quentin Johnson, who not only is he a speedster, but he's like 6'5", 230. I mean, it's a tough ask. But I'll tell you what, this is a guy in Mekhi Blackman who's 26 years old, a former 3rd-round pick, and he wasn't even really all that bad for the Vikings. He just got hurt, and the roster sort of passed him by, right? The NFL is very much a what have you done for me lately league, and sometimes that's just how it goes. But I kind of have a hunch that he's going to be around for a while for us because he's been getting a lot of reps, and if he can stay healthy, I do think he ends up proving to kind of be a savvy acquisition for the Indianapolis Colts on the defensive side of the ball. In fact, quite frankly, I think you could already argue that he has been. He's quickly kind of turning into a dark horse favorite for me on this defensive side of the football. I've just really enjoyed week after week what he's brought because he's a guy that wasn't exactly expected to be a factor. He was someone that we didn't get in the offseason, and he was kind of just thrusted in and expected to make an impact, and he has been pretty reliable, all things considered. Other notes on the defensive side of the football, how much wood could a wood buck if a wood buck could buck wood? Apparently, 12 pass rush wins and 2 sacks because that's exactly what DeForest Buckner did today, both of which, by the way, those sacks, I think came in the 4th quarter. He was excellent once again, and I continue to be impressed with the defensive tackle group as a whole. We always talk about Buckner, and we always talk about Grover Stewart, but it's those other guys, Gallimore, Adebaware, who's continuing to progress as a pass rusher. I think they've been awesome. Listen, Chris Ballard might not do great at defensive end. Like his track record might not be great there, but he does an awesome job on the interior of the defensive line, and that just deserves to be noted. Zaire Franklin, he had an awesome pass breakup down the field in the end zone on I forget who. It might have been Ladd McConkey, which would be crazy to think about. I'd like to recognize that as well because it was like 40 yards down the field, and that's not exactly something that is a strength of Zaire Franklin, right? Like that's not exactly his game, but it was a big-time play by a big-time player, and he came out and played damn well in this football game, and a lot of people were kind of worried about what Justin Herbert might do to this team because Zaire Franklin made what I thought was a very mild comment that was taken to some degree out of context on Jeff Teague's show on radio, which he's basically on every week, I think. But, yeah, I mean, just all around, really just a great effort from the Indianapolis Colts, a team effort, and you can't really ask for much more than that. 38-24, 6-1. I mean, was that on your bingo card coming into the season, right? Let me know what you think about this game. Is there anything that you feel like I was wrong about? Do you agree with everything? You don't have to agree with everything. Anything that you feel like I missed? Because this one right here was just a fun game to watch. I mean, we were having fun. But until next time, my name is Justin. This right here is the Ride the Bench Colts podcast. Like, subscribe if you have not yet. And as always, mother effer, go Colts.